In the headlines, 40 killed, others kidnapped by bandits in Kebbi and Zamfara. Nigerians mark 2023 International Workers' Day celebration as salutes go out to workers. National Association of Nigerian Students say all Nigerian students evacuated from Khartoum. Another international scene, armed attackers kill 10, wound 3 in Ecuador port, Guayaquil. Hello and welcome to News Update on Trust TV. I am Sagir Ibrahim. Hello and welcome once again. Now the news in detail. Suspected bandits have killed at least 40 people in villages in Kebbi and Zamfara State during an attack on Sunday. Residents of Dan Umaru village in Kebbi State say the funeral of about 27 people have taken place while several others have sustained various degrees of injuries. It was also gathered that 6 mobile policemen were among the 36 victims killed at Dan Umaru in Zuru area of Kebbi State. Dozens have also been kidnapped and hundreds of cattle rustled during the attack on neighboring villages. In Zamfara State, 3 people were killed in Shinkafi village. Police authorities in the state had yet to make any official statement on the matter as of the time of filing the report. Also, two teenagers were on Sunday morning slaughtered in Donkasa village of Basa local government area of Plateau State by unknown assailants. The spokesperson of the state police command, Alabo Alfred, who confirmed the incident, said the police are doing everything possible to arrest the perpetrators of the act and curtail further occurrence of such killing. According to the state chairman of the Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, Makban, Nura Abdullahi, the victims were in their father's farm when the assailants attacked and killed them. The police named some of the deceased as Suleiman Yusuf, who was 7 years old, and Jafar Yusuf, aged 12. Our correspondent reports that there has been increased attacks in some villages of the state. On Wednesday last week, 6 miners were killed in Farinlamba community of Riyom local government area of the state, a development that pushed residents of the area to block Jos Abuja highway in protest of the incident. And also, the chairman of the Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, Makban Jos chapter, Nura Abdullahi, has called for calm following the killing of 2 teenagers on Sunday in Donkasa village in Basa local government area of Plateau State. The spokesperson of the state police command, DSP Alabo Alfred, who confirmed the incident, pledged that the police will do everything possible to arrest the perpetrators. Ado Musa reports.
The victims were said to have been attacked and killed in their father's farm. The father of the victims, Yusuf Bayero, explains how he received the news of the death of his children. I had intended in the morning to visit a nearby community to condole someone who died on Saturday. So before we left, already there was an arrangement to go to the farm with my sons. I told them to wait until I came back, but they said they would go ahead to the farm and I could meet them when I returned. Before we got to where we were going for the condolence, I was told that my children had been killed. The stakeholders are saddened by the incident and are hoping that the relevant authorities will respond swiftly to the reports that have been made to them.
The next line of action, we want security to do the needful. I called the attention of the Commissioner of Police, who is on the way coming back to just from Abuja, and he assured me that he will take necessary actions to see he stop further killings and destruction of properties in the entire Plateau State and Basa in particular.
Early warning signals, because the Fulanis are law-abiding. They don't attack anybody, and they don't perpetrate any crimes, because they are moving around with their cattle, something that you cannot pocket and go. Anything that you cannot pocket and go, how can you ferment trouble? you know that it will be a deterrent to you.
Despite the painful loss, the Macban chairman is calling on members of the group to remain calm and is asking security agencies to fish out the perpetrators of the killing.
I'm with my people here, and I'm drawing their attention to the happenings around Plateau State. So I want them to be calm. Let them give peace a chance. Let them work with security agencies, with we the leaders, and see to forestall, to stop other killings. But taking law into our hands will not help matters.
The police is promising to prevent a recurrence of the murder and is also warning that it will decisively deal with anyone who disturbs the peace. There have been increased attacks in some villages of the state. On Wednesday last week, 6 miners were killed in Farin Lamba community of Riom local government area of the state, a development that prompted residents of the area to block Jos Abuja Highway in protest. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Also, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has lauded the efforts of Nigerian workers on the occasion of this year's International Workers' Day. Gbajabiamila said the Nigerian workers have paid their dues over the years. Therefore, they deserve to be celebrated always, not just on Workers' Day. Recalling the sacrifices of Nigerian workers, Gbajabiamila said such would not go in vain, noting that they would continue to reap from their good works. He said Nigeria would not have been what it is today if not for the diligence, dedication and commitment at various levels. The Speaker saluted them for their invaluable contributions to the growth and development of Nigeria, even as he urged them to do more for the betterment of the country. In the same vein, Senate President Ahmed Lawan has hailed Nigerian workers for their patriotism, commitment to nation building and resilience as they join their counterparts around the world to mark the 2023 Workers' Day on May 1st. In a statement, Lawan said the workers have contributed in finding solutions to challenges and supported the efforts of government targeted at meeting the yearnings of the populace. Lawan said this consistent patriotic stance of the Nigerian workers has enhanced peace and industrial harmony and provided a conducive environment for economic growth and development in the country. Being the last May Day for the 9th National Assembly, the Senate President further highlighted some of the relevant achievements of the Assembly as it concerns workers. Also, the president of the Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, Yakubu Mekel, SAN, has called on the incoming administrations at federal and state government levels to initiate, reinvigorate and focus on policies that promote inclusiveness, protect small and medium-sized enterprises, grow the middle class and prioritize infrastructural development. He made this call in his Workers' Day message to Nigerians on Monday. Mekel also stressed that there must be increased accountability on subsidy spending. He noted that the misappropriation and circumvention of monies earmarked for subsidies, especially petrol subsidy, must be treated as economic sabotage and those found culpable must be prosecuted. While saluting the resilience and steadfastness of Nigerian workers who, despite the national challenges, continue to keep the wheels of the country turning, Mekel commended workers in both the public and private sectors, the self-employed, sole proprietors and entrepreneurs whose ingenuity and resourcefulness create employment opportunities despite the current economic challenges. He noted that with the right tools and incentives, Nigeria will take its rightful place in the Committee of Nations. Less than 1 month to the formal handover ceremony to a new administration, Nigerians have been assessing the performance or otherwise of ministers under President Muhammadu Buhari's government. A cross-section of respondents who spoke to Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman in Abuja were critical on the performance of cabinet members of the outgoing government. Take a look.
Sections 147 subsection 4 and 147 subsection 6 speak about qualification for appointment as minister and who is responsible for the nomination and confirmation of the appointment. The minister's responsibilities, according to the act establishing the office, is to serve as an advisory body to the president, who chairs the Federal Executive Council. Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission fixes their remuneration and allowances running into millions of naira. The Buhari government currently has 44 ministers, the largest in Nigeria's democratic history, manning the affairs of 28 ministries. His first tenure in 2015 had a composition of 37 ministers, including those with state portfolios from across the 36 states. Though their nomination came 6 months after take-up of the administration, their rating, according to Nigerians, was abysmal compared to the huge expectations.
The worst I can say, one is that man from Kano Agric, the second is the power minister, the one sacked. They do nothing.
Now, our economy is not doing well now. That's the truth. Our economy is down.
So the minister didn't perform?
He did not perform very well, from my own understanding.
You see, Minister of Finance, the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Petroleum, what we experienced this past week, the Minister of Labour, didn't even support ASU. Look at what we went through as students.
The worst part is their power sector. That one, I don't know. That one is the worst. And education, no. There's nothing to talk about them.
18 out of his ministers could not make the return after winning re-election in 2019. But 12 ministers not only returned, but retained their portfolios. That, according to respondents, did not make much difference.
If you go to the education sector, the same thing. They just went on strike for over almost a year. So what will I assess a Minister of Education for? Is it because of this? You didn't handle that ASU strike well. Then when you get to the Minister of Health, you saw what happened in the health sector.
Our sports, especially the Super Eagles, they didn't perform well within this period. So I think the Minister of Sports, the next person coming has to do something.
The Ministry of Power is the worst ministry.
I can say work ministers. Okay. Work ministers, because for the first government they have been talking of the second Niger bridge. Nobody does anything about it. But Buhari did it.
Defense, they are trying at least. Since it has been long we had about bombing and all those things. The military, they are trying. Those ones, those parts, they are trying. But other ones, I don't know about.
The Minister of Science and Technology, you understand, he really performed because our science and technology has increased. Then the Minister of Works, as I was saying, he tried, you understand, but he still have some roads undone.
While Nigerians count their gains and losses of the administration, they expressed hopes that the incoming administration will learn from its predecessor, avoid delay in constituting the cabinet, and put the round peg in square holes. Shapiro Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Also, the National Population Commission, NPC, says it is prepared for the 2023 Population and Housing Census, which has been postponed by the federal government. The Director, Public Affairs of the Commission, Isiaka Yahya, disclosed this while addressing newsmen in Abuja. Kabir Lawal was there and reports.
The National Population Director, Public Affairs, Isiaka Yahya, said the NPC is fully prepared to carry out its functions, despite the rescheduling of the 2023 National Population and Housing Census. Yahya dispelled insinuation that it was because the Commission was not financially prepared to carry out its responsibility that led to the postponement, adding that federal government has right to postpone the exercise and fix a new date. The Director of Public Affairs attributed the postponement to the rescheduling of governorship elections.
But the second point, it's not so different from what is happening, the mood of the nation. Having conducted the election, we thought there would be, in fixing the census after the election, we were just ready to move. So the issue of not being prepared is not a sort of it. Of course, you may say because we did not do the LGA training, maybe it means unprepared. Rather, the answer is no, because some of the thoughts that inform the postponement, were unfolding.
Census Manager Abubakar Jalingo, who also confirmed the Commission's readiness, added that database has to be attached to the population to get the required number of the population.
The National Population Commission is technically ready to implement the census. And I'm happy that you people are all familiar press to the Commission. You have followed our footprints to the process and to the methodological implementation of the census process.
Has been functional, while personnel recruitment has been scrutinized.
When you come to our preparedness in terms of internet connectivity and all this for the census, as I told you, we have the database of all network masts in this country. We know where they are physically located on ground in this country. We have collected the database of the coverage from all the telcos.
The Commission has put in place complaint portals and platforms to make Commission get back to the drawing board by receiving feedback and taking necessary corrections where necessary before the headcount. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Meanwhile, residents of Jos, the capital of Plateau State, have expressed disappointment over the postponement of the 2023 population and housing census by the federal government. The 2023 census had been earlier scheduled for 3rd to 7th of May this year, but on Saturday, the federal government announced the shift in date, adding that the new date would be decided by the incoming administration. Adu Musa completes the story.
This is the third time the federal government is postponing the exercise. Unlike the last postponement, this time no clear reason was given to Nigerians on why the exercise was postponed. Neither was a new date for the exercise selected. Census is usually organized to collect up-to-date data that will drive the developmental goals of the country and improve the living standard of the Nigerian people. However, some residents say the development is surprising and disappointing.
And honestly, I think the census, the postponement of the census is a very, very bad idea, because we need to know how many people we have in Nigeria, and you can't plan if you don't know the number of people you are planning for. For example, if you're planning an event, you have to know the budget or the number of people you are expecting to be able to plan well for them.
The saddest part of it is, yet no reason is given from the side of the government trying to convince the citizens that these are the reasons why this census is postponed.
The residents also call on the federal government to reconsider the decision and conduct the exercise as scheduled.
Since they've done everything already, I don't know what is stopping them from doing it. If possible, I think the federal government should go ahead and carry out the census. I don't know the exact reason why they are stopping it, but they should try and carry out the census.
They should try and intimate people about the reasons behind the postponement of this census, because people need to be convinced that there are cogent reasons for this census to be postponed for no reason.
Badamasi Saidu is a lecturer at the Department of Geography, Federal University Kashere, and explains why government should conduct the exercise at this present time.
In the first instance, when you are getting information about persons, you need to know the sex and ages of all categories of people in the country, because the need of the infants is quite different from the needs of children in primary school. The need of those in secondary schools is different from the need of those in the universities at that age group, and is equally different from the needs of the working class, and is equally different from the needs of the adults. So all these things are very much important in planning. The needs of females are also different from the needs of the males.
In the last 17 years, the federal government hasn't conducted the population and housing census to enable it to have accurate figure of the country's population for future planning. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
You're watching news update on Trust TV. Still to come. We take a look at possibilities of virtual reality in education. This and more when we return. Stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining, you're watching News Update on Trust TV. Now a recap of some of our major stories. 40 killed, others kidnapped by bandits in Kebbi and Zamfara states. Nigerians mark 2023 International Workers' Day celebration as salutes go out to Nigerian workers. Moving on, the National Association of Nigerian Students in Sudan says all stranded students in the war-wrecked North African country have been evacuated from the country's capital, Khartoum. The public relations officer of the association, Amal Pantami, made this known in a statement on Sunday. There were a total of 26 buses, and each bus contained about 50 people. Meanwhile, more than 500 people have been killed and tens of thousands of people have fled since battles erupted in Sudan on April 15. The federal government on Sunday said it spent $1.2 million on bus fares to evacuate stranded Nigerians to Egyptian borders for onward airlifting to Nigeria. The fighting pits the forces of Army Chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan against his ex-deputy Mohammed Hamdan Daglo, who commands the Rapid Support Forces, a heavily armed paramilitary group. Also, virtual reality is a modern technology that gives humans the ability to interact with computers through simulations which appear like real-life experiences. For the first time, a virtual reality game has been launched in Gombe State, with some students focusing on educative virtual reality games to enhance productivity in schools. Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail met a student of the College of Nursing and Midwifery, Gombe, who leverages the power of virtual reality to improve her learning ability. Take a look.
This is the first ever virtual reality game center in the whole of Gombe State. Youth and children here enjoy the company of the modern technology. Blessing Bala is a student of midwifery and public health at the College of Nursing and Midwifery, Gombe. She often takes lessons to improve her knowledge of human anatomy through virtual reality.
It has improved a lot because you see things the way they are, very raw, and then it's very easy to view things. Because, you know, I talked earlier that it's a different world entirely. So you're going to see things very easy and then very close to you. I don't know if you get me. Because when you click on a cell, it's going to show you everything about the cell, with the videos, with the pictures, with everything.
She finds the virtual reality technology to be very supportive and hopes that the tech could be made available to students at all levels to improve understanding. Others who play the virtual games share their experience as they learn new techniques in football and driving.
What they are not doing in the pitch, I can do it on the game. Like, I got educated, like more ideas when it comes to football. I do them on game and all this.
Operators of the game center said they offer education virtual reality games for school children, pointing out that the technology can change the future of education.
Yeah, we do have track of people coming to come and thank us based on what we taught the children, and they played well. And after playing our educational games, like, we do find them they improve in their educational activities.
For Blessing, virtual reality can be used to enhance students' productivity. She urges governments at all levels to deploy virtual reality facilities to school for educative purposes.
It's full of fun and you're going to learn a lot because you're going to see the internet closer to you. You'll be able to access so many things on the internet when your other phone cannot be able to access that to you. So our government, this is a very good platform for people to come and learn.
This is the adult skeletal system. It has over 200 bones, hold the body together, give it shape, protect organs and tissue. So I am now taking a lesson on the muscular system. I can see the muscular system very visible.
Resolution of the Human Anatomy Image Project is epic, and such encourages students to learn seamlessly. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Gombe.
On the international scene, at least 10 people were killed overnight when heavily armed assailants opened fire outside a shop in Guayaquil, Ecuador's main port city and economic hub, that is under a state of emergency due to rising drug violence. The gruesome attack occurred at a mechanic shop in the city's southwest as people were inside drinking and watching a soccer match on TV. Several people drove up in a black truck, stepped out without saying a word, and opened fire using long weapons. Hours later, bodies could be seen lying on the sidewalk in pools of blood as people cried and hugged one another while police cordoned off the area. In addition to those killed, 3 people were wounded, including a 5-year-old girl who is stable and is going to be operated for shrapnel. And with that, we've come to the end of news updates on Trust TV at this hour. Do well to follow us across all of our media platforms. I'm Sagir Ibrahim. Thanks for watching.